Welcome back to my channel. If you're thinking about sailing on Celebrity, you're probably wondering, is it really more upscale or just smart marketing? And more importantly, is it worth paying extra? Celebrity is marketed as a more luxurious and more expensive alternative to Royal Caribbean, its sister cruise line. But does the experience actually justify that higher price? I've been on over 25 cruises, including 2 with Celebrity, and in this video, I'm sharing my first-hand experiences. I'll compare Celebrity to other mainstream cruise lines to see if it's really more upscale, or if it's mostly just a clever marketing strategy with a higher price tag. Ambiance. First off, the ambiance on Celebrity Cruise really does feel more upscale. The furniture, carpeting, and small details all feel more refined, from plush theater seats to the heavier, solid chairs in the main dining room. The public spaces and dining rooms have a stylish, contemporary design, and even the cabin bathrooms feel more spacious than on most mainstream cruise lines. On ships with the Lawn Club, having real grass on board adds an extra touch of sophistication. Upscale resort experience. Celebrity Cruise does have elements of an upscale resort that you don't always find on mainstream cruise lines. For example, pool towels are self-serve. No need to sign in or out. It's a small touch, but it's a big convenience. You can take as many towels as you need without worrying about keeping track, which is standard in luxury resorts. Another subtle difference is that there aren't too many photographers. Cheesy photo booths are rare on the ship. It keeps the public spaces feeling more refined. Even the little touches, like how mail is delivered to your cabin, makes the experience feel more refined. Mail arrives in envelopes, and even the spa and gift shop flyers come in envelopes. This adds a polished, upscale feel. That said, not every aspect of the upscale resort experience worked for me. For example, the cabin bathrooms don't have a retractable clothesline. There are only 2 small hooks. I get that the design is trying to mimic luxury hotels like the Ritz-Carlton, where guests aren't expected to rinse clothes in the sink. But it's just not practical. I don't know about you, but I'm not bringing a swimsuit for every day of the cruise, and if I rinse it, I need somewhere to hang it. Another thing I don't like about Celebrity is that prices are slightly higher than other cruise lines. For example, when you order the wash and fold service, you'll get a laundry bag that is noticeably smaller than usual, so you end up paying more. While the bag itself is fancier, it's cloth and embroidered instead of nylon. But at the end of the day, it's still just laundry. This kind of pricing strategy is common in luxury hotels, which I don't like. Food. Now let's talk about the food, because this is usually where people ask, is it actually better? And is it worth paying more? In the main dining room, Celebrity definitely gives you more food choices. On many cruise lines, you'll see maybe 4 or 5 entrees a night. On Celebrity Cruises, it's closer to 9, usually a mix of fish, chicken, lamb or stew, steak, and a vegetarian option. There's also a good variety of appetizers, and I appreciate that classics like shrimp cocktail and escargot are available every night. And on themed or formal nights, you'll see premium items like lobster, steak, and baked Alaska. That said, nothing really wowed me. Some cruise lines have signature dishes, for example, soufflés on Princess cruises, but Celebrity doesn't quite have that one dish that feels truly special. The menu is polished and definitely supports the upscale image, but it's not dramatically different from other mainstream cruise lines. At this point, most cruises serve steak and lobster on formal nights, so it doesn't really set Celebrity apart. One thing where Celebrity does feel more upscale is the food presentation. The food is carefully plated, and that alone makes the dining experience feel more elevated. The buffet also feels a step above average. What really sets it apart are the cook-to-order stations, things like stir-fry stations and made-to-order Eggs Benedict. And in keeping with Celebrity's wellness focus, there are plenty of healthy and vegetarian options. Themed nights, like a seafood extravaganza or an impressive dessert and cake spread, also makes it feel more high-end. If I had one criticism, it's that some dishes are a little under-seasoned and can taste bland at times. though that really comes down to personal preference. So is the food more upscale? Maybe, but not by a huge margin. Even budget-friendly cruise lines are putting out much better food these days. For Celebrity to really impress me, I'd love to see something more distinctive, like tableside Caesar salad or cherry jubilee. Right now, the food feels refined and well executed, but still very similar to other mainstream cruise lines. Walking into Celebrity's main dining room, I had high expectations for a more luxurious experience, and visually, it delivers. The lighting, layout, and furnishings immediately feel refined and sophisticated. When it comes to service, one thing that sets Celebrity apart is that there are sommeliers in the main dining room. Most cruise lines have cut this service to save costs, so it's a nice extra. Our sommelier was attentive and knowledgeable, helping us pick wines that paired perfectly with our meals, which added an extra layer of polish to the dining experience. The waitstaff and assistant waiters were also amazing, organized, professional, and attentive. That said, the service didn't feel dramatically different from what I've experienced on other lines. Even more affordable cruise lines, like MSC, have the same high level of service in their main dining rooms. Where Celebrity falls a bit short for me is the dining room layout. For an upscale cruise line, I expected the dining room to feel more spacious. On the Celebrity Silhouette, the tables are set very close together, which makes the room feel crowded, especially during peak dinner hours. I've seen this on other mainstream cruise lines that try to pack in as many passengers as possible, and I was disappointed to see the same thing on Celebrity. I had pretty high expectations for Celebrity Cruises buffet. I was expecting something calmer and more relaxed, but honestly, that wasn't my experience. The atmosphere felt just as busy as higher energy cruise lines like Norwegian, and during peak hours, finding a table is a real challenge. Most of the staff interactions we had were actually from the bar staff asking if we wanted to buy drinks, rather than staff offering help. I'll admit, my experiences on Princess cruises may have set the bar high. On Princess, staff will bring drinks to your table, including complimentary water, juice, and coffee. And they're very proactive about helping guests, whether that means carrying plates or assisting with food choices. Traveling with my mother-in-law, who has mobility issues, that difference stood out even more. On Celebrity, she only received help only once during the entire cruise, and the rest of the time, staff didn't really offer any assistance. Cabin service. You'd expect an upscale cruise line to have exceptional cabin service, right? But that wasn't my experience on Celebrity. Overall, it didn't feel much different from what I've seen on other cruise lines. On one cruise, I had to specifically request a deep cleaning of the bathroom because of a persistent odor, something I wouldn't expect from an upscale cruise line. Celebrity does offer nightly turn-down service, which is standard on higher-end ships and exactly what I expected. Beyond that, though, the cabin service felt pretty ordinary. Cabin amenities. Celebrity cruise cabins do include some nice upscale touches. For example, every guest gets a robe, not just suite passengers, and you don't have to request one. They also provide umbrellas in the cabin, just like a high-end resort. And on embarkation day, we received complimentary tote bags that felt premium, not the cheap nylon type. The bag even had an inside zip pouch. The bathroom toiletries were also above average for a cruise line. In addition to shampoo, conditioner, and shower gel, there was lotion and even a shower cap. In today's world of cost-cutting, I appreciated these little extras. That said, if you're expecting full hotel-level luxury, you might be disappointed. The towels weren't as plush as I expected, and the sheets didn't feel any more luxurious than what you get on other mainstream cruise lines. So, does Celebrity Cruise live up to its reputation as an upscale cruise line? The short answer, sometimes, but not consistently. The public spaces are polished, sophisticated, and clearly designed to appeal to a more refined crowd. But when it comes to the areas that really define an upscale experience, food, service, and cabin amenities, Celebrity doesn't quite rise above the competition. Would I sail with Celebrity again? Definitely yes. It's a very nice cruise. But if I were deciding between a similar itinerary on another mainstream cruise line, I wouldn't pay extra just to sail with Celebrity. Get your free cruise packing list. Whether you're a first time cruiser or a seasoned traveler, this one page checklist makes sure you never forget the essentials. Download my free cruise packing list printable. Link in the description below. Want to learn how to get free onboard credit on your next cruise? Don't miss the next video. I'll show you exactly how. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.